Hi everyone. So there is a meaning behind this video for once, but well, there's two things. One is an age thing about my age and how old people seem to think I am, and the other one is I've just been to Tesco and spent like £60 on one day's worth of shopping. It's not actually one full day, but the stuff that I picked up. So seeing as I've done this a couple of times now and I don't feel very well, I actually left work. Yeah, I'm still employed for now, but maybe after the conversation I had with someone who might go and repeat it, may not be tomorrow, but we'll see. I like literally went to the shop and I had to come home before I went in the shop because I suddenly got really ill. Come home quickly, got changed, and I went back and I do feel pretty horrendous. So I might as well show what I bought. So because everyone wants to know about toilet roll, I got the coconut oil ones, like always. Then this is going to be a Christmas present, and I don't know who for, or I might just give it to charity. It is the Thornton's Christmas selection. Actually, reading the back, it looks pretty amazing. Normally when I get a box of chocolates, I don't eat most of them. There's 1, 2, 3. There's only 4 that I wouldn't have, so I might get a box for me as well. I know I'm going to get a second box. These are £5 instead of 10, so I think that's a good deal. So I think I'm going to pick a couple more up. Then this guy, he works on the self-checkouts. He always IDs me. And this isn't why I'm talking about age, but it is kind of linked into age. He must have ID'd me like 10 times, yet he still insisted on IDing me for this. I got this for one of my dad's Christmas presents, and I only got it because I love the glass. It's a really nice glass. It was only £5, so this is going to be one of his Christmas presents. It was the glass that sold it to me. I feel really ill. Oh god, I've actually just booked a doctor's appointment for Friday, which is going to cause me problems with work because I've been told I have to have all my appointments out of work hours, but there's no other appointments available till next week when I've got one booked, and I can't wait until next week. Like, even 3 days is ages to wait Friday, so I'm going to see if I can work Thursday, if not start an hour later, but probably won't be allowed to. But I have to go to the doctors. If you've got to go to the doctors, you've got to go to the doctors. You can't just carry on. Then they'll probably go, oh, you're sick. Got these. Oh yeah, when I've showed you some more stuff, I'll explain why I've possibly got them. I don't know if I'm going to use them for something, but they're not for me because I don't like quality treat. I got a 1 litre bottle of Evian because it's more of a convenient size. I got a 2 litre bottle of Evian. I got a 1.5 litre of Pepsi Max. A 125 litre bottle of Diet Coke. It's like the liquids here. 500ml bottle of orange Lucozade. I take that to work when I don't feel well, which seems to be most days at the moment. I've got my bill. Dr. Pepper number 1. I wonder if I've got one in the fridge. I think I drank it last night before bed. Pepsi Max, again, I don't drink it, it's not for me. I used to drink it when it first came out, but now I don't particularly like it. Energy drink, which I'm having now. I've not had much to drink today, like always. I just bought liquids. 75cent a litre bottle of Evian. This is cold. I don't drink enough water, and I try and encourage myself by buying things like that. It was funny because the other day I bought a 2 litre one, is it a 1 litre one, a 75 centilitre one, and then I got the 50 centilitre one, and then all I was missing was the small one, but they don't do them there. Another Dr Pepper, because obviously I've not bought enough liquid. Then I got some Manchego. It's not for me, I don't like cheese. I picked it up because I know someone who likes cheese and probably will eat that in one go. Then I bought this spicy cheddar. That's going to go with the matchsticks. I will explain something when I've got everything out of the bags. Because I couldn't find any this morning. Well, I've got some in my work bag, but then I finished my Nurofen. I knew it said ibuprofen. What's it? I've just found a new box of painkillers. I was looking for some this morning. I had to raid my work bag. That's one bag empty. This is probably for a different reason why I've got the other ones. Oh, they smell good. Remember when matchsticks used to be classy? Or not? Now they're £1, but I think they used to be more money. I don't know. Unless I'm thinking of something else. Then I picked up 8 Swiss chocolate profiteroles because they're on offer for £2.34. I don't know. I wonder if we can heat up the chocolate and then dip them in. Yeah. I didn't even realise that, and I was like, ooh. Because it'd be a bit hard now, so yeah, dip them in the chocolate. Then I've got my lunch. I wanted to get the festive one. I got the festive one yesterday, I think. And it was really nice, except for the bacon. But it wasn't maybe if I didn't not come home originally. I had some mushroom soup at work. I think they're trying to kill me at work. It was one of the things that made me ill, to be honest. I was struggling after I had that. It tasted weird. It was mushroom soup with big chunks of mushroom on. It was really weird. I go through stages of... That's why I wanted to go to shop. I wanted to get some vitamins. I've run out of vitamins. I go through stages of having these. I probably have them once a month for a week until they've run out, and then I don't get them. Hello, you've already had something. Not for me. Although, when I run out, I do steal it off people. It's on offer for £1.50. In case anyone wants any. Organic chicken breast. What? I haven't got anything. You've got food. You've got food. This is the 3rd or 4th one I've bought. Smells amazing. It's going to go in stocking fillers and gift basket things that I'm going to give to charity and stuff. £1. If someone's watching me, they're going to think I'm crazy. This is really nice. I think I mentioned it yesterday, it's my favourite one. Well, one of them. Not the coconut one, the one that smells a bit chocolatey nice. got 2 Dark Temptation. Never had too much Dark Temptation. This is obviously not for me. I think it's leaking. I normally get the natural one, but there was someone stood there, and when I said excuse me, they just carried on standing there, and I thought, I can't be bothered. These are really nice. I'm going to have some tonight with my chicken. I look like I've got a week's worth of shopping here, don't I? And every day that I want strawberry toast, jam on toast, never have any jam. So I've got this, never had this one before. But I thought, why not? I've not finished with the shopping, by the way. There's stuff that wasn't even in the bag. I got 2 bags of these. I've never had them before. I don't think I'm gonna have them either. Red cushion hearts. I probably butchered that. It's a big bag. It was £1 each or 2 for £1.50, and I thought, got another bag. Give the other bag to charity or to someone else, or. But that's going over there with that stuff that I've put to one side. I've got a second bag of them. I also picked up some naan chips in spice and masala. I bet they're nice. They're not even for me, but I bet they're nice. They were £1. And then I actually bought myself one thing because I was at work today. Normally at work, it's like an oven, and I wish I could take my skin off. It's that hot. At work the last 2 days, it's been like a freezer, and I'm sat there cold, and my feet are frozen. And then I was speaking to the other office staff, and one of them was like, oh, I was going to buy a heater for work, but I didn't ask, so I didn't pick one up. I said, well, what about in my office? Because we're in separate parts of the office. I said, like, you two are going to get the heat because you're going to have it next to you. I'm not going to feel it. I said, I'll just get a snowsuit, it's fine. So, I mean, one of them sits there with a full-on padded body warmer in an office, like a professional office. No one bats an eyelid, but I'm not going in looking like that. So I sort of these, they're not just for work anyway, it's just like thicker socks really. I think it's probably like one's equivalent of wearing 2 pairs of socks, but I just thought I'm going to have to buy some because my feet are like icicles. I actually did get changed before when I ain't been working a t-shirt. I've been wearing jeans on. I've been wearing like really nice smart black jeans. But my feet have been like icicles, and these feel nice. So that's what I bought myself. And that little lot came to £62.22. So in regards to our cup, this over here, the cheese and one of the matchmakers. I'm pretty sure they used to call matchsticks, unless I completely lost my mind. Basically what I'm doing is, I've actually got an advent calendar, I have shown it. My dog's got one, and for my dad what I'm doing is every day I'm giving him something. So like day 1 was, what was day 1? Oh, do you know those boxes of Maltesers that are about that big? He had one of them on day 1. Day 2 was a Christmas tie. It was lilac with Christmas puddings on. Day 3 was a box of these. It weren't this box, this is my box. A box of M&S dark chocolate Jaffa cakes. Might have one of them in a minute. And day 4 was those biscuits. They come in a blue box and they're like rectangle shape with chocolate on. Libra something. A box of them with a dark chocolate, what's it called? Is it green and blacks or something like that? It's probably not green and blacks, but it's along those lines. And then a sachet of coffee. I thought I'll mix it up. You can have some coffee and biscuits whilst it's at work. So I've not done today, so I thought I'm going to have to get a few days ahead because I keep forgetting to get days ahead. I have got one day ahead, which I'm going to give him Friday, which is another Christmas tie. I'm going to have to give him quite close together because obviously you're going to get limited wear out of a Christmas tie. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 days ahead, possibly 5. If he likes these, I'll give him a second bag later into the Advent or whatever it's called. So that's what I'm doing for him. I thought it was quite thoughtful because you can get different things. Like I've got him ties, chocolate, I've got him a piece of cheese. I am meant to be getting him alcohol bits as well, like a bottle of beer and stuff. But I try not to encourage drinking too much because of the amount that's consumed in the pub. And he just comes home drunk and then drinks it. And I think you don't appreciate it as much. So I will do a couple of, what's it called? A couple of alcoholic drinks, possibly in the week, because at weekend that's when he goes a bit over the top with the drinking. So I think that's what, I don't know if I lock my car. It's self-locking anyway after a certain amount of time. So that's what I'm doing. So it's little things. And they're not like much money. I think the ties were the most money. I think they run off for like £4 each. Everything else is going to be like under £2. But I just thought it's like a nice little thing because then you get something different every day and it's like a little treat leading up to Christmas Day. And that's what I'm doing. I've got a lint calendar. I'm pretty sure I showed it possibly Sunday night. Today's chocolate I've just put in the freezer. I like my chocolate frozen. I'll show you. I've never actually had this one before. It's just a piece of actual chocolate. It's quite small, but yeah, I was happy to get that today. So that's what I've done for him, and that's why I've picked up a few, because it's like I'm getting them on the day, or sometimes I'm forgetting and like, you know. Winging it like the Jaffa Cake one. I already had that. I weren't going to use it for that reason, but they came in handy. And then the first thing I picked up today was actually these. I thought he would absolutely love these. I'm hoping he opens them whilst I'm around so I can try one, because I may like them as well. You never know. The other thing that I possibly wouldn't like about these is the dark chocolate, and I don't like dark chocolate. But hopefully he'll open them when I'm around, but he keeps taking them to work and like eating them at work, probably instead of lunch. So yeah, got a few things. He's not having 2 boxes of Matchmakers. One of them's going into like a charity gift basket that I'm doing. So because he's not had today's, and I know yesterday was that box of chocolates and a chocolate and a coffee, I'm going to give him the naan crisps, or the cheese, possibly the cheese, and then the naan chips tomorrow. Then the chocolate, then the chocolates, then the naan chips, then the matchsticks. I don't want to give too many sweet things together because he has actually got a sweet tooth. So that's that. I might as well do my dog calendar now. She's actually come and sat right by my foot. I'm pretty sure I've shown this. It's day 5. They're all the same, I think. Day 5's up there. I don't know why you need to see it, but not really exciting, but this is yours. Good girl. So the purpose about like what is age or whatever this video is called, I don't even clue now, something about age, is I was at work today and they're having a lot of work done on the building basically, and they've got a, what is he? He's not a plumber, he's a joiner, and he came down, and I know him really well, he's called Gino, I've known him a long time, and come down and he was sat there because they'd gone out, my manager and the owner, and they said he was getting soup. So he'd said to Gino, I'm going to get some soup, wait for the soup. So Gino eventually comes down and he sits in the office, and I was talking to him for 45 minutes and not working, but it's acceptable for the other office staff to talk to everyone for ages, so I thought, they're not here, I'm just going to talk to him. And we're talking away, and he was like having a bit of a moan about them and stuff, and I basically told him what was going on and that I weren't happy about things. And to be honest, I don't care if he repeats it. If they sack me, they sack me. They're doing me a favour at the end of the day. I'm not happy there. I'm being forced to be there. There's rules changing all the time. Something happened last week. I'm not particularly happy, and like they said I can pick and choose my hours, and then on day one they changed their mind, and it's just not a happy place. And like, I'm not even going to talk about the work they gave me today because they basically took the absolute out of me and give me some quite impossible things that they know I'm going to struggle with. So I'm bloody googling crap today to try and do what they wanted, and I've still got to do one of them. I can't even remember what it's called. I know what it is, but I don't. I can't even think. So we're talking away and stuff, and I was like, I applied for a job. I got a job interview last Friday, and I just couldn't go because it was time conflicting, and they wanted me there for an hour and 45, and then there was travel time, and I was so busy. Like I shouldn't even be filming this video now. I should be working because I should have finished it today, and it's going to be a miracle if I get it finished today. So I said, oh, I couldn't go for it, and I had like a 1 in 2 chance of getting one of the jobs because there was 3 jobs, all very similar, and there was only 8 of us up for these jobs. So he's like, well, are you going to like work part-time or what? I said, well, to be honest, I'm not going to work here if I get a job. I'm not being treated the way that I'm treated, underpaid and all the other stuff that's going on. And he said, well, I can see what's going on, and I can see the other 2 had properly taken the proverbial out of the owners and like, you know, putting hours through that don't exist. I said, I know. I said, I couldn't do that. I said, you know, I worked extra time once, like I think I did put through an extra 20 hours, and I said they let me sit there and do these extra 20 hours, and then they told me they didn't want me to do them and refused to pay me for these 20 hours. And I said, they've never done that to me since, but he always has a knack of coming in just when I'm getting ready to leave and giving me something to do, or having a lengthy conversation with me and keeping me there for half an hour. I said, like, I'm not happy, and I went into a lot of reasons why, and I said, you know, I don't want to do accounts work anymore, and he's got me doing some of his accounts work and other finance stuff. I mean, the other finance stuff I'm fine with. I said, but I've had enough of doing accounts. I've been doing it since I was 16. So he started laughing at me, and I'm like, what's funny? I'm not being over dramatic here. He's like, well, you're not that old, are you? What have you been doing it like 6-7 years? And I'm like, how could I possibly doing it that long? Did he say 6 or 7? No, I think he said 5 or 6 years, and I'm like, how old do you think I am? Because he thought basically that I'm a lot younger than what I am, and he's like, well, I think you're such and such, and he basically said that he thinks I'm 23, and I'm like, how am I 23? Like, I wish I was 23, but he's like, you're not a day over 23, and I'm like, are you absolutely joking? I'm like, you see me in the morning when I'm looking half dead, of course I'm a little bit older than 23, and he's like, you're not? I went, you know how old my dad is, how like can you possibly think that? I'm like, you can look at my ID if you want. He's like, yeah, you've probably got fake ID. It's funny you said that, Because my ex said that when I showed him, and I said, why would I make myself older than 25, seriously? So, like, no one believes me how old I am. Like, if you see me in the morning, like, it's really bad lighting in here, I probably look a lot older, but I am older than 23. But he didn't believe me, and he's known me ages, and he knows my dad. My dad's not his accountant though, because we would charge him more than his accountant charges anyway. Even like my manager thinks I'm younger than I am, and she told me that I'd wrote the wrong date of birth the other day when she was going through everyone's files. I went, no, I haven't wrote the wrong date of birth. I thought, what's she getting at? Because at first I thought she was trying to suggest that I'm older. So I was like, I've not wrote the wrong date of birth. And then she's like, no, you've definitely wrote it wrong. I think that's supposed to be a different number on the yin. And I was like, no. So I don't know. And it's like what I said at the start of this video, like that guy in Tesco's ID'd me about 10 times. Still thinks I'm not old enough to buy alcohol. So yeah. And then when I was talking to Gino, my phone starts ringing. I'd already missed one phone call. Answered it, and I'm like writing stuff down. And when I got off the phone, he's like, sounds like you've got a job interview. And I went, actually, it's not. But I did get rung this morning about a job interview. But I was talking to those two in there. Didn't realise it was my phone that was ringing, because apparently I don't know my own ringtone. Because it was ringing, I was stood in the other room talking away, and I'm like, is that my phone? And when I went to get it, it was literally a job I applied for last night. And they were already ringing me, because normally you don't get rung that quickly, but maybe they're desperate, I don't know. They've not rung me back, so it was probably a mistake, but I was like, no, it's definitely not a job interview, it's just an appointment. And that's how we came about, like me saying like I would leave, I would definitely leave. And then he was going on about like other people that are taking advantage and they're getting this, that and the other. I said, well, I'm the only one who's not taking advantage, and I'm getting treated appallingly, and like rules are constantly changing and all sorts of stuff. And someone revealed what my dream job is to them, and that's caused a little bit of problems, because they think I'm gonna report back what's going on, but nah. So yeah, I don't know why people think I'm about 23. I've been 23 in people's heads for the last 2 years, so I don't know what it is that makes me look or come across as 23, but I know the lighting's bad, but I'm definitely a little bit older than 23. I wish I was 23. If I was 23, what would I be doing? Well, anything would be better than what's been going on this last few years, but yeah, it was just ironic. And then he was having a bit of a moan about who I work for, because obviously he works for him as well. And he was moaning about someone else who works for him who gets treated better than he gets treated. And I said, well, welcome to my life. So, hopefully it won't repeat what I've said, but I've got to now try and see if I can work Thursday instead of Friday, or go in later and finish later on Friday. Because everyone else is allowed to have appointments and go out and come back and make up the time, but I'm not. But getting an appointment is difficult. I've actually got an appointment with someone who I've not seen for years, because I stopped seeing him because he made a comment which I thought was wrong. But that's the problem when your doctor knows you personally. They feel like they can make comments that they necessarily wouldn't make if they didn't know you away from the surgery. So that's why I started to see who I see now, mainly. Because I went to see him about something and he went, oh, the female doctor would be better to talk about that. That just makes it sound like it was a woman's problem, and it wasn't a woman's problem. But he just said, and then I think I saw him again, and I think he made a comment, and I think it was something about depression. I think he made it, and I think it's like, even now thinking about it, it was insensitive. But even my dad stopped seeing him as well, because he knows my dad personally as well. I think my dad met him before I did, but he made a comment about my dad's weight, and my dad was like, no, I'm not seeing him anymore. And then he just sees the same doctor I see. But I've got an appointment booked with her next week, but I needed to see the doctor this week, and I just found out he had a cancellation, but he never has cancellations, he never has appointments. Like, you can wait a month to see him, but her it's every 2.5 weeks, sometimes 3. Maximum him, 3 to 5 weeks. And I've not been to see him for ages. I see him like sometimes when I'm waiting and he's leaving or whatever, he always comes and says hello to me because he does know me. But yeah, I'm seeing him. Probably won't get anywhere with him, but it's going to be weird seeing him after so long. And he must know that well, he knows I see her, because there was one day I was walking him, she came out to call me in and he walked out of his door and he started talking to me. She turned round and I don't think she realised that I knew him away from there, but I kind of know her away from there because of she was a member, or she probably is still a member and I'm not. We were members of the same running club, and she knows him because she's friends with his wife, who was a member of the running club, who's an anaesthetist at the hospital. So they're all like in it together kind of thing. That was a bit weird, in it together. They're all doctors basically, and they all live at a gated community not too far away from here. I'm not going to name where it is, but anyone who lives around here who watches this and knows where I live will know what I mean by gated community, and that's where they live. So yeah, it's been ages since I've been to see him because of a comment he made, but I do think it wasn't the right comment to make to a depressed person, what he said. Even now, like, I think I struggled with like depression in a different way then, because and I'm only being open about depression because I just want to help other people with it, because I didn't admit it for such a long time, and now I'm open about it because I was made to feel like it's not acceptable to tell people how you feel or if you're feeling down, and because people just think it's just an excuse, but it isn't. But at that time I was struggling because I was keeping it a secret. No one knew I had it. No one, well, a couple of people did, but no one knew I had it. No one knew I was on this medication, and you know, I would take the medication and I'd start feeling better, because obviously you do, and it does take a while to get to that stage where you feel a little bit better. So every so often I'd be like, right, I'm fine, just stop taking it without going to doctors, which don't do. If you're on it, don't do it. If you're feeling okay within yourself, speak to your doctor. Don't just stop taking your tablets, because I did that once. Oh my god, I'll do a video about that actually. I'll do a proper sit down video. It caused havoc on my body. Because your body gets so used to that good feeling, that feel-good feeling those tablets give you. If you just stop them and your body's used to them, like a few months into it, depending on which one you're on, it can do things like it affects you. It can alter your personality. It can do all sorts of things. So don't just stop taking antidepressants just because you're feeling okay. So basically that's what happened. I was taking them for a certain amount of time, and then I didn't want the stigmatism of being depressed or anxious, and I was embarrassed by it, and I would just be like, well, I'm feeling better, and just stop taking them and wouldn't tell my doctor. Then I'd go about my everyday life for a couple of months, and then I'd start to struggle again. And it wasn't necessarily struggle, it was just like, because it does take a few months to fully get out your system, and you know, from experience it takes about a year to fully go, and for your brain to start working properly, because it does affect your brain and it affects the way you think. And I hope that delivery guy's not coming here, because I've not actually ordered anything. I'm hoping it's for next door. Just seeing if my key's in the door, because it makes my job easier, but it's not. So yeah, don't take, I haven't ordered anything, please don't knock on my door. Yeah, so antidepressants, they do affect you for a long time after you stop taking them. They actually slow your brain down, and they do affect your memory, and they don't tell you this when you're on them, but when I'm on them my memory's really bad, but when I'm off them it's still bad, and you're never the person you were before you went on them, even when you've stopped taking them and you've not been on them. Please don't deliver anything to my house. and you've not been on them for a long time, they do, and doctors never tell you about all that stuff, and they don't tell you that you're never the same person ever again, and your brain works differently. It really does. Even when you're not on them, your brain does work very differently, and that's how it is. Like, people don't ever talk about it, and people don't ever go into things like that, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't want them to deliver to my house because I haven't ordered anything. I don't get deliveries to my house on purpose. So, yeah. So basically that's what I was doing. Every time I felt good or okay for a while, I'd just stop taking them, and then of course I would need to go back on them when, you know, 3-6 months later, like I'd start needing them around 4 months after being off them, and then I'd put up with feeling like crap for a couple of months, and then I'd go. And I think he got a bit fed up with it, to be honest, and he basically said what he thought, which wasn't what I needed, and that's why I stopped going to see him, because I just thought it's a bit insensitive, to be honest. You know, it takes a lot for me, and it did then, to go and ask for help. Like, I'd build up for it for months, and I'd put up with feeling not right because I just didn't want to bother people, and I just felt ashamed. But now I don't feel ashamed, and I'm not on anything for it. I self-manage, and it's not easy self-managing. It's, you know, it's hard, but I don't want to be a zombie. I don't want it to affect my memory. I don't want it take a year to get fully out my system, and it's never fully out your system. You're never the same. Like, my memory is like crap. It's not crap, but it does affect me. So I'm not on it, and I'm okay with that. I'm not saying I would never go back on it. It would depend, but I think I've been as low as I can go and not been on it, and it's been fine. Well, it's not been fine obviously, because when you're low, you know, it's difficult. But I don't know, sometimes being on things is not always the answer. Sometimes you've just got to kind of cope. Just stopped because I got a phone call and I didn't answer it, and I'm looking at it. It's a Clitheroe number, and I thought that number looks familiar because I know one person who lives in Clitheroe, but I thought their name would come up. So someone's ringing me from Clitheroe. I don't know who it is, but I didn't want to answer it because I knew I was on a video. So potentially a job I applied for, because I applied for about 20 at midnight. I've had enough. That van's back again, seriously. Like, I'm filming a video here. They're gonna like, oh, they've left me a voicemail. That's inconvenient. I'm feeling uncomfortable about this guy keep coming back, because he's gonna like see me talking to myself if I stay there. I'm really intrigued who's phoned me now. And it's a short voice message because it didn't take them long to leave it, and I'm not ringing them back unless they want to, like, you know, give me £1 million. I can't think who'd ring me from Clitheroe. But I've been filming for ages, so I'm going to go. I've got some work to do which won't get finished tonight, and I'm going to get up early tomorrow because it's hair washing day, and I've got to go and put up with Hitler. Was Hitler married? Bonnie and Clyde? No. I can't call him what I was just going to call him. No, I can't call him that. Think of a dictator that was evil and had a wife or a girlfriend. I can't even think. Rosie and Jim. Because they actually did buy a boat, and then they decided they didn't want a boat. But I'm going to go because I had to put that shopping away, which I've had out for about an hour. Oh God, my back's killing me. Hello? Do you want to be on camera? Okay, you push me. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cleo. Yes, yes. Oh, yes, beautiful. I am down, believe it or not, but sometimes videos help, sometimes they don't, sometimes they just distract me for 40 odd minutes. But I've got to put my shopping away, I've got to get some work done. I've got to find an outfit for tomorrow because I've kept the jeans on that I had on. They actually are smart black jeans, but I'm going to have to wear proper trousers to work tomorrow. I do want to wear a dress, but at the same time I don't want to because I'm going to freeze in the office. So I don't know what I'm going to wear. I don't even want to go to work. It's just, I was miserable as anything today. You should have seen me. I was just there like, I just couldn't snap out of it either. Like when my manager came in, I like spoke to her. Oh, do you know what she did? Oh God, she got something delivered, right? And she opened it, and I'm not joking, it looked like a massive packet of heroin. Well, she knew what it looked like, and she said, I'm starting to sell drugs. And I'm like, you should be careful what you say, because if someone walked past and heard that, they might just ring the police and not realise it was a joke. And it was quite a big bag, like, it would have cost a fortune to buy that if it really was heroin. And I'm like, all right, you're going into a new business. So she's like, yeah, I'm just going to chop it up. And I'm like, do you chop heroin up? She went, yeah, you chop it up. I went, how can you chop it up? It's already a powder. She's like, yeah, you chop it up. I'm like, totally went over my head. I wouldn't have thought you could chop a powder up, but apparently you do. Anyway, it weren't heroin. God, don't want people thinking it was. It was massive though. And apparently it's powdered something for the monkeys, because they've got monkeys. Not big monkeys, like little monkeys. So yeah, but then she walked out the office. I went, you need to be careful because it actually does look like it. Like I've seen it on telly and stuff. If the police are driving past, and they might like get a little bit suspicious about that. She went, oh, if they want some, they can have some. I'm like, okay. Anyway, I'm ending it there. I'll probably film later. I don't know. I've got to get on with stuff, and distracting myself is one thing, but I actually do. I have to do some work.